Appearing in the main event of WrestleMania is arguably one of the biggest accomplishments a pro wrestler can ever dream of achieving. Over the course of pro wrestling's lineage, if you will, 55 different superstars have won the WWE Championship, while only 44 different superstars have main evented at WrestleMania. By the way, if that's wrong, yell at ChatGPT, not me, just saying. The scope is not something that everyone gets to do. So when WrestleMania season pops off, those that get the honor of main eventing now one of the 2 nights of WrestleMania get a huge boost to their career, and something that they could really carry all the way to a Hall of Fame nod somewhere down the line. You know, like anything else in pro wrestling, once WrestleMania comes through, people like the fancy book who will main event those nights of WrestleMania, who will be the marquee, who will close out the show for the fans. Well, that's what we're going to do. Now, people like to do this a year out, 6 months out, 3 months out. I didn't because I'm lazy. I'm going to start at 2 months out of WrestleMania by the time the video drops. And I will give you, frankly, who I think deserves a spot and what my prediction will be for night 1 and night 2 WrestleMania main eventing. Before we get into that, go ahead and like and subscribe. It means the world. Follow me on socials, yada yada yada. But all that aside, let's get into the video. Need a little Ghost to get through this. That's good. Shout out to Ghost. I'm gonna start out with who I think mostly deserves the WrestleMania main event spots, and I'm gonna go to who I think doesn't deserve it as much, and I'll finish that off by giving my official predictions. So let's get right into most deserving of a WrestleMania main event spot. I have Jey Uso, who is the Men's Royal Rumble winner, and you can look at merch sales, reactions, all that kind of stuff. He is the most over guy, or at least the hottest guy in the business currently, and it's hard to argue that. You have Cody Rhodes, who is the current WWE champion and obviously the face of the company. You have CM Punk, one of the top guys, a fan favorite through many generations, and his whole shtick right now is trying to get a main event spot at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, who is another top guy, was a face of the place for about a decade there, if you want to go off booking standards, and definitely the face of the place for the last 5 years before Cody dethroned him this past WrestleMania. And he is a guy who, based on name alone, warrants at least a consideration for a main event slot. You have John Cena, GOAT, again another person who off name alone warrants a consideration for a main event spot, and especially with this being his last run, the pieces are falling in line there. And then last but not least, you have Seth Rollins, who is fan favorite, popular dude, all that kind of stuff, and based on a feud he is in currently, warrants consideration for a main event spot. Let's move on to people who are somewhat deserving, and that, you know, if they were put in there, you can justify it, but it's not really, the push isn't all the way there right now from the main event WrestleMania, if that makes sense. We got Charlotte Flair, who is the Women's Royal Rumble winner, obviously one of the greatest to ever do it, plus she's Charlotte Flair, kind of gets put in these situations just on name alone, and undoubtedly a future Hall of Famer. You have Rhea Ripley, the current Women's World Champion, I think it's how you pronounce it, one of the top female superstars on the roster, everyone's favorite, is Mommy. We have Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, one of the most dominant, not only champions, but superstars since coming to the scene, coming to the roster, and frankly, he's racking up to one of the most dominant of all time based on days spent as champion to overall career. Bianca Belair, who is, again, a top superstar, one of those people that commands the spotlight, commands the main event anytime they're on the scene, and undoubtedly star power enough to be in a main event spot. You have Tiffany Stratton, who is the women's WWE champion and currently involved in a feud that could leave some consideration for a main event spot. And last but not least, you have Drew McIntyre, one of the highest superstars. If you go back and watch that video, my superstar of the year for 2024, and has proven time and time again that he is up there with the best of the best. Based on those two categories, as you can see, I don't have any women in the most deserving, and that's not an indictment on them. It's just that there's no storyline in the women's division to warrant a main event spot. I know Tiffany versus Charlotte was already announced, but I don't know. Unless something changes drastically, I don't think there's enough juice to jump it over my two predictions for the main event. And I think to change, I plan on doing this a month out of WrestleMania, so who knows? But in a month's time, things could change. That feud could amp up, and it could deserve a main event spot. And coincidentally enough, I also have Jay and Gunther kind of in the same realm. I know I said Jay is is probably the most popular superstar right now. Gunther's dominant champion. However, there's just not enough there. Had it been a first-time matchup, maybe you can justify it more, but I think right now, since we've seen it for the IC title, felt like a couple times we saw it for World Heavyweight title, just recently at Saturday Night's Main Event, it's not fresh enough to be like the buzz is there to warrant a main event spot. And so, of all that being said, let's go ahead and get to the predictions of night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. Night 1, I see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. It is a blood feud that is the feud of this generation of superstars, definitely the last over a decade from like the days of the Shin. Given where they are, given their status, given that Seth damn near kicked Roman's head off at Royal Rumble, we get to night 2. By some I consider the true main event. I don't buy it. The main event is always the last match of the show, so night 1 is just as a valid main event as any other. Right now, I have Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk for the WWE title as a night 2 main event, predicated on Punk winning the Chamber for me. The feud's right there, two of the biggest superstars. Again, Punk looking for that WrestleMania main event he's never had, despite probably earning time and time again in his career. You have Cody, the face of the place, the WWE champion, and the promo battles alone between those two will be tremendous, awesome.
Chasing you. You're chasing me.
There is a curveball monkey wrench in there by the name of John Cena, who could actually win the Chamber.
What is best for business is I main event WrestleMania. And what is best for business is, for the first time, I confidently say that I'm gonna win a 17th championship.
Go to face Cody, and then Punk uses that favor from Heyman to weasel his way in, but I feel like they a lot of the matches at Mania are going to be multi-person, multi-team, more than one-on-one. So I want to keep the main events one-on-one, especially with last year we had the tag match and then the Bloodline Rules and everybody and their grandma seemed like got involved. I think this year they're going to take a step back, do one-on-ones, just keep it like that. So near night 2 is Cody Rhodes, CM Punk for a title. And yeah, those are my predictions. Night 1, Roman Seth. Night 2, Punk Cody. And that's how we close out WrestleMania weekend in style. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We'd love to get your feedback. But as always, go ahead and like and subscribe. On all socials, it's Heartfelt. But for right now, this video, I am just Heartfelt. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.